And we love our dark skin. We are not ashamed. We are not embarrassed. We are not humiliated by the racism in this country because the people that are pushing it out there, they're the ones who should be ashamed of themselves. All of us are disgusted by racism. Fuck that shit. One of the things that I need to talk about today is not only the decriminalization, which we're continuously fighting for. Marijuana use in this city, in this state, is supposed to be legal, but we still have to worry about where we can legally use, where we can legally medicate. My son is right now on RSO oil for his seizures. He has grand mal seizures. The only thing that helps him and his wife who has epilepsy is the use of the cannabis and the oils that it produces. But having access to it is the biggest problem for him because you know what? If you can't afford to get it as a medical patient and keep up all the bureaucracy and policy behind that, then being a recreational user, you're still being criminalized. And especially a child with brown skin who has seizures, who might seize during a car while he's driving. He might have a seizure at the time that he's walking his kids to the park. And you know what's my biggest fear is that happening. That happening and the police hurting him, taking his life because they don't know that he's having an attack. They don't know that he's having a health issue at the time because of how we see people that utilize marijuana in this country. One of the things that he has to deal with, not only the seizures, but having to deal with racism every day. He is in an interracial relationship. His wife was told one day by a child that she grew up with that she was a breeder now because she had mixed kids by my son. How humiliating for not only them as a couple that's trying to live in the year 2017, 2018 in America to be humiliated by racism, but to know that they're pushing that on their children. I advocate for a lot of children, and one of the things I tell them is that the things that are happening right now, they're not their faults. And they don't have to carry on the same traditions and values and policies that we've been taking into consideration to reform. They need to break these systems. Fuck reform. It's time for reconstruction. And when we talk about reconstruction, we know that it doesn't take rocket science to make outside public consumption a thing. We know that it adds to the value of public safety because people don't have to hide what they're doing when they're trying to deal with the girls of today. All of these ills that we're dealing with, all of the things that are creating PTSD in all of us. If you didn't have PTSD before the Trump inauguration, you got it now. I was in the hospital watching it on morphine, dying, coming out of a surgery, and I knew that we were in for a fight. I got out of that hospital ready. I got out of that hospital. I connected with the ACLU. I connected with Indivisible Oregon. I connected with my community, and we kept moving. Because the fact that we're getting tired of fighting, it doesn't mean that we're losing. It just means that we have to be more innovative in the way that we do our outreach. Everybody should be on the front line. Nobody should be behind. We don't have saviors in this movement. We have allies. We have comrades. We have people that feel the same way that we do. And the only thing that is in between us is legalities. People think that speaking out, freedom of speech, that's violent. People see it as violent if they don't control the conversation. We have right now, with the legalization in the state of Oregon, the opportunity to change that conversation. This industry is making money. That money can be used for our education. And I'm not talking about only the education in our schools. I'm talking about political education. When our numbers and our neighbors understand the value of what we're talking about, when we need to continue to influence policy, when they become the allies in this fight, we will win. When we invest in elected officials that understand the priorities when we talk about public safety and marijuana use and not having our children be tased and chased and shot for having a joint or a pipe in their pocket, when they understand the value of integrating what they believe is a better future into what we're talking about, having access, liberation, then that's when those things will change. Put your money in this industry where our future needs to be. Give our children access to the guidance that they need. Give them a blank slate. Let's make something that matters happen. We don't have to propagate the falsehoods of the people that we elect that come to us with lip service. Vote them out. Vote them out. If you don't trust them, don't give them a chance. We in this industry, we understand what second chances look like, and we haven't gotten them from an elected leader. We haven't gotten them from a political relationship or legislation. They just keep putting our ideas and our thoughts and our necessities on the back burner. No more. I'm trying to see a revolution. I remember when New Approach and Anthony Johnson, when all of that was happening, and I was standing on the front line as a candidate for Multnomah County because I understood it to be a health necessity. I understood that having access to it, that it would decrease the necessity for our courts to deal with us on a criminal level. And it would encourage our health departments and our health resource operators to utilize it as a leverage where there is no opportunity for those that do not have access to the health care that will make us healthy. We know RSO works. It's on the record. It works. We know that legal consumption, if done properly through our process, don't let somebody who's never used weed tell you how to policy it, how to legislate it, how to make it right. We know it's normal for us. We don't want to be normalized by their bullshit politics. So let's create what we need and let's do it together. Smoke.